Hey guys, Crew of Blind Wave. I'm Eric.
I'm Rick.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Aaron.
We're back with Star Wars Visions. Excited to see what other corner of a Star Wars galaxy we'll be going to.
Indeed.
Maybe not the, but a.
Hey.
Lucky number 7.
Another galaxy far away, but not as far as before. Here's your other trigger one. That looks cool.
We'll be making the jump to hyperspace soon.
You know, I've never been to this sector. Can't wait.
You must hold the Jedi record for most planets visited. Based on all the stories I've heard, anyway. You seemed obsessed about getting back out here.
Obsessed. Actually, I thought it would be good for you if we visited the Outer Rim. The seeds of misfortune, when in peaceful soil, can be easy to overlook.
Ooh,
Do you sense something?
cold.
Did you not feel anything earlier?
Not a thing. Could it possibly be Sith? If so, you know I'm ready to fight.
No, it cannot be Sith. It's been hundreds of years since they were destroyed. A Jedi must find balance and stillness.
I'm so lucky to be your Padawan.
Thank you.
I was being sarcastic.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that. The people of this planet are known to be quite shy. Why don't I go try to talk to them first?
You're just planning him a surprise birthday party.
Cheetos. This kind of has an airbender look to it, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
A couple of days ago, an elder from an unknown tribe visited. There are not that many visitors to this planet in the first place, so for the Haba, there are far more unknown tribes than not. I haven't felt the disturbance at all since we arrived on this planet.
Were we misdirected?
No, I think the opposite. But it also means he's noticed us. The mountains are tricky. You should get a guide.
Again, so wise.
Again, so wise.
This one feels the most like a Jedi Apprentice novel or something.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I like the music. It's cool.
Yeah. Ooh, cool shit.
Well,
That looks bad.
Are we the baddies?
But I've got a bad feeling about this.
Wait a second.
That's been the most natural.
What is it?
There's a Vamga carcass.
What?
I'm going to check it out.
You think the Padawan dies?
I don't know.
Maybe this Sith is okay.
maybe the Master dies.
Whoever it is that did this must be extremely skilled.
Clean cut. A lightsaber's the only weapon I know.
It's too close.
Like a Jawa.
A Jedi. The Sith became far too obsessed with trying to outwit each other. It resulted in them completely neglecting their destiny. Let's not speak with our mouths, but with our blades.
Run. Get away, Dan.
The plume at the base of the blade is cool.
It's like two little ones.
Yeah.
It looks smaller from that angle.
I mean, he's pretty small himself.
Oh,
That
yeah.
looks bigger.
They're slightly shorter, but... Got him.
Already got hit, didn't he?
Touched him.
You're only delaying the inevitable with such feudal defense.
I thought he barely used his eyes.
Dead.
Fuck.
Ooh.
Getting dark.
He's gonna wait, like waiting for your ship at the ship. He's waiting at the body of the Padawan.
It's been a while since I've come across an opponent so strong in the Force.
He always draws like this. The rain's really cool. Look at that.
Oh,
Steam is
yeah.
great as well. Two-hand style's good.
Nice.
I like the pink.
Yeah, that pink is really good. Makes it look so much more electrical, you know?
Well, it's
But
like
it's still casting a blue light.
It's like it's overloading the lens and the camera.
Yeah.
Oh!
Alright. Master! Oh! Nice. That's nice, man. I always love that.
I love that so much.
radiation from it.
Yeah.
Whoa!
And he's still alive.
Yeah.
It's been completely destroyed. So what do you think he was? I mean, he couldn't have been Sith, right?
Perhaps he was once part of the Sith, but then somehow broke away. It's the first time I've confronted such darkness. It was a terrible power he had. If I had fought him when he was in his prime, the results may have been much different. No, what defeated the Elder in the end was not me, but time. He couldn't win against the weakness that comes with age. No matter how powerful you become, no, it will not last forever. I am also becoming weaker, and you shall continue to get stronger.
You think
We are what they
I'll
grow
get stronger?
Quite possibly.
All right.
I like that one.
I enjoyed this one more than the last Trigger one. I like the art style. Had like that kind of. It felt like an Avatar, Legend of Korra, like something along those lines as far as like the art style. I feel like like a lot of the people, especially, I felt like that looks like an Avatar kind of character,
Yeah.
design wise and stuff. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But then I enjoyed the story because I think it was Eric who said like it kind of felt like a Jedi Apprentice book or something like that. Like you would have like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan going on an adventure, and here's the story of that adventure they did.
This one, I don't think has any like thing keeping it out of being a canon story.
I don't
It
think
seems
so,
like
yeah.
it's in the High Republic, right? They said there was a couple hundred years since that had been gone.
Yeah.
Whereas in Episode 1, Coyote Mundi says it's been 1,000 years,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So you could firmly place this in like the High Republic era, and this guy isn't a Sith, but he seems like he used
Like
to have
a-
been one.
Yeah.
Like a risen Sith.
Like he
I don't-
could have
I don't know.
been like an apprentice that was failed or left or something, and so the rule of two could still apply, and he just is out there like Maul was whenever Maul died, you know.
Sure.
So there's nothing in here that feels like, well, this disqualifies it from being part of my headcanon, you know.
Yeah. I had one issue. I want to go back to the very beginning
Yeah.
to make sure I heard what I thought I heard because
Mhm.
I was just confused on a thing.
Okay.
And I think Calvin and I both
Whereabouts?
thought it's like just like after the thing. It's like the very first like line of dialogue.
We'll be making the jump to hyperspace soon.
Yeah. I was just confused there because he says
Yeah.
we'll be making the jump to hyperspace, and I'm like, clearly they're in hyperspace, and then they
Yeah.
come out of hyperspace.
Sure.
I'm like, I was just when he said that,
you
I'm
could
like,
fix that line and say the jump out of hyperspace.
yeah.
My thought was, if it's in the future, maybe there's a speed between the two.
I get what you mean.
You know?
I suppose it's just whenever we, like we're about to make the jump to hyperspace, we'll be coming out of hyperspace. Like usually those are kind of the lines they use with a lot of
Yeah.
it, and this is usually the kind of look that you have in Rebels or in the
Yeah.
movies and stuff. So like that was the only thing when I was watching. I was like, and it was like for
I didn't even notice
5
it.
seconds. I was like, that seemed weird. I'm like,
Yeah.
why aren't they? And I looked over at Calvin, and Calvin's like, and I'm like, I think he might have heard the same thing. So I wanted to make sure I didn't mishear it. But besides that,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I was like, wait, that was weird.
Sure.
Yeah.
But everything else was pretty good.
And that's probably just a maybe like a translation error, something like that.
Maybe.
Maybe it was originally like jump through hyperspace, and it was just
It could,
altered
I mean,
a little bit.
the thing is you got like dedicated LucasArts people working on these as well that know the difference, and they might just not want to mess with the artistic integrity of the writing that came here. You know?
Sure.
So they're just like, no. I mean, that's what they wrote. That's what they wrote.
Sure.
It's not canon. Who cares?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's true too. So that's just the lingo they use in this world, I guess, or something. So that was the only thing that. Besides that, like I liked the old man with his swords and stuff. I liked the fight. That was pretty fun.
I like Tagan or Toggin?
Tajin.
Tajin?
Tajin?
Yeah.
I say
it's-
Tajin. But Tajin, I loved his personality, and like he just was very like lazy, like but in a present way, if that makes sense. You know, his kid is excitable and wants to go
kid.
off. Yeah, his kid.
His
Was
kid.
excitable. He wants to go off on an adventure. He wants to be the hero.
Yeah.
Whereas he has more experience. He seems to be the traveler.
Yeah.
I think it comes back to like the mantra that he was talking, and then the apprentice spoke with him.
Yeah.
It's like find your own center and calm.
Yeah.
I think he's just embodying that philosophy in
Yeah.
everything he does. You know?
Like Mitaka last episode, it felt like a Qui-Gon-ish living force feeling to him.
Sure. And Qui-Gon, like I like Qui-Gon as a Jedi. Like
Yeah, me too.
I like a lot of his viewpoints and stuff and things he says and when you look at like a lot of the other like masters on the council and stuff, there's lots of them where I'm like, man, like Kiadi Mundi here, he's kind of a jerk. I don't know if I like him too much. Mace Windu is usually a lot
Oh, yeah,
more
he's a
harsher
jerk.
than anyone else there.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
I liked
Okay,
Qui-Gon a lot.
citizen.
I liked Obi-Wan a lot. I liked Yoda a lot. I like those ones there. Like they seemed more like to embody what like Jedi I feel like should be. Where every once in a while, some of the other ones, Plo Koon is pretty good overall. But
I feel like he's pretty consistent.
Qui-Gon's always that interesting one because you hear what they say about him. Like, Obi-Wan has that line. It's like, don't do it again. Don't defy the council again, Master. He's like, I will do what I must, Obi-Wan. It makes you think, like, if this guy trained Anakin, he would have been able to handle him.
well, sure,
Obi-Wan
yeah.
can't
Definitely
handle
would
him.
have.
No.
Yeah.
But Anakin is old enough and defiant enough where he would have done well with Qui-Gon.
Yeah. Well, it's the conversation that like Dave and stuff had said, where it's like Qui-Gon would have been the father figure Anakin needed,
Yeah.
whereas Obi-Wan was the brother.
Yeah.
And
You were my brother,
You didn't,
Anakin.
you didn't
Yeah.
need the brother to raise him. You needed the father to raise him.
Yeah.
And he
Qui-Gon-
found the
Qui-Gon
father
dies
figure.
in the Duel of the Fates. You
Yeah.
know, and the Fates, that's what's decided. So some interesting stuff there. But no, with this
But-
one here, like
They just had a lot of really cool little, like, visual details. Like
the rain.
I can tell that whoever designed these characters was paying attention to Star Wars Episode 3 because their hoods were the giant Episode 3 hoods that
That
come
hang
from here.
over the shoulder.
They come
Yeah.
up and they look cool, but they're too big.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, when they
So,
when
they
they
have a lot
both
of
got
cool
off their
things
ship
like
and
that.
they were walking,
Yeah.
I'm like, they look so wide.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
I also really like the I think green and red beat that Dan has in his
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
It's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
He has a red and a green, and then down at the bottom where it ties, there's a yellow bead.
Is there a yellow one there
Yeah.
too?
I really like the fight in this one because it was allowed to breathe.
Yeah.
And it has the difference between nothing happening where you're completely relaxed and then full speed.
Yeah.
Like that's how a fight goes, and it makes the speed so much faster
Agreed.
when there's absolutely nothing else happening in between.
That's I could write a lot of things about the fight, but the first thing I wrote down was I loved the hesitations and the moments of breath.
Sure.
And the styles too. I loved the two-handed primary style that he had. Last episode we had with Toby. Toby kind of had like almost like a Chinese martial arts style with the other offhand doing this like balancing stuff.
doing the thrust, but having the other arm way out.
But Dan and Tajin, you can kind of see like, well, yeah, he trained this kid. This kid isn't as good, but it's the same kind of style. Whereas the elder has this crazy style,
Yeah.
but still controlled.
It's always fun, like when you have like someone fighting someone. It's like, I see you. Like I think Rebels dealt with it with the Inquisitor, where it's like, I see you follow this one. Well, your master taught you da da da. You know, and like it's like, well, this is how they fought. You can tell that they're fighting like their master taught them because that's how their master taught them.
Yeah.
It's just fun to see that. I enjoyed the kill of it too. Like I like when they use lightsabers like lightsabers, and it's not like,
Not like
this
a
is not
fixed
just a
blade
sword.
sword.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different, and like having the rain kind of aspect to it. Like that's different than just rain bouncing off a blade. It's gonna have a little steam and stuff, and you can turn it off and turn it back on. And especially in like some of the movies, like you don't necessarily see that kind of stuff. It's kind of like ignite the sword. Now it's a sword, and I fight with the sword. So.
Yeah, we didn't get that in episode 2 on Camino, and I don't believe we got it in episode 9 either, the steam. But that was first shown in the Gindi Micro Clone Wars series, and that was always my favorite part. One of my favorite parts of that series was the steam coming off a lightsaber, and it looked great here too.
Yeah, I liked it.
Looks really good.
I like the power conversation they have in the end. When you're talking about that, there's also like besides kind of the things they were saying, I was also thinking about like, similar to the idea of that anything with in no form of moderation is dangerous. Like power, like they're like, so power is important and it can help you and stuff, but also having too much power can become dangerous. And it's one of those things like you can drink too much water and it can kill you. You can have too much water. You can have too much milk, just like you can have too much of a drug or alcohol or whatever it is.
But also the fleeting nature of power, or just matching the fleeting nature of everything else. Like everything goes. Like the Elder seemed obsessed by finding a new fight, a new challenge, but it's too late for him to have been able to rise to it.
Yeah. Well, and like when Obi-Wan says, more powerful than you ever imagined. Like there's a peak, like you reach your physical peak, and then you start to dip. But then once you're one with the Force again, you're more powerful than you ever were before.
Especially if you go through the training of being able to like manifest and understand the Force and have a little bit more connection to it and stuff too. It's even more because now you're immortal. You're always going to be able to exist within the Force, which is something you can't say about a person living.
and that's so integral to like Lucas's original thoughts of the Force. You know, they brought it back in Rogue One, but it didn't used to be "May the Force be with you." It used to be "May the Force of others be with you." So, like, Chir Imwe says that in Rogue One now, "May the Force of others be with you," or "Look to the Force, and there you'll always find me." So, like, that idea of power that comes after, you know, is always really cool.
I was trying to think. Like, we saw the Elder here die and turn to ash.
Yeah.
Have we seen any Sith die on screen? I can only think of one Sith that died.
I mean, to what extent do you mean? Like,
well, Maul didn't die.
I mean,
well, sure. Like Dooku
got his head cut off.
Dooku would be the one.
And he was just a body.
Palpatine also flayed alive and tore apart.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, in Episode 9.
But that was also.
You could say he went ashy.
I don't know how you want to count Vader, because Vader, by the time he was, it's not.
Yeah, I wouldn't count Vader.
He did turn to ash eventually.
Well, his armor did. He would have actually disappeared in the Force. Yeah. But his armor did turn to ash. But I get what you mean. Like the idea of there's like an alternate version of the Jedi,
like
Force,
disappearing Force Ghost
thing.
thing. Yeah, but the thing with that too is like Sith can't do that. They don't they don't have that connection, right? Like sometimes Sith can be like connected to a thing, I think, but that also might be Legends now, right?
He also said
it's canon.
He used to be
canon
a
to
Sith, but he isn't anymore.
Well, I think that most Sith strive to live as long as possible. They're greedy, they're passionate, they want to live. This guy seemed like at the end he wanted to die, and maybe it's a thing you can do. Maybe. I mean, if you can summon lightning through your fingers, maybe you can course lightning through your body and fry yourself.
Sure.
So it might be an ability that he used, and you just have never seen it before.
Yeah. But the best example from the movies is probably going with, I mean, Sidious is a tricky one because it's also clone related and all that kind of stuff too. But Dooku is just like, well, that was a Sith. He was killed and he's just dead on the ground.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But he also, like, Dooku didn't have the eyes.
Dooku was not as conventional. He's you know.
He consciously turned from the Jedi because he didn't agree with them. Yeah. Not that he was going for power and everything like that.
He is a political idealist. He believes in what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, he's not doing it. He is evil, you know?
Sure.
But he's not like the devil. Like,
Sure.
Like Palpatine is.
I love whenever like Palpatine's like, "Good job, Anakin. No, kill him." And he's like Dooku's like, oh, "What? What'd you say?" Like I'm like, "Hey, he's behind it." You know, like they're saying some shit to Anakin right now.
Yeah. I think that's when Dooku really realized, like, oh shit, I played right into his hand. He was playing a much bigger game of chess.
Yeah. But you know, also a Sith eyes is like unfiltered rage and feelings. Like Palpatine doesn't have them until he doesn't have to have his mask anymore. You know, Anakin, when he really feels it when he's killing the Separatist Council, that's when his Sith eyes come. Or whenever he's on the lava beach, that's when they come. Maul, all the time, is pissed off.
He's just pissed off.
Like, he literally has a mask of evil and aggression, you know? So Dooku, he's a political leader, or he's playing a game of chess, so he wants to be filtered, you know? He wants to be seen as a leader and hero of people.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have them.
Yeah, because if he did, like, you're not gonna be like, "Ah, yes, Darth Maul. I will follow the Empire." You know, like,
a whole planet followed him. I don't know.
So it can be seen as a form of.
But with that, they didn't though, because it was a figurehead too that was being utilized.
That's
remember?
True. You're right.
But so it can be seen as a way of showing someone being uncontrolled or someone not caring how controlled they look. This is kind of how I see it. And this guy seems like, you know, he comes to this planet that doesn't seem very technological. It's like they said that people were very shy.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of waited. So it's almost as if because he said he felt him too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's possible they just like both landed because they felt each other.
Yeah. What he was saying was that like he thought that he felt it, and then since the Sith guy felt it, the Elder, he turned it off to hide himself.
Yeah.
So.
But then he wanted to be found again after he encountered the Padawan.
But he's also like out in the outer rim on like the small, like, you know, in these seemingly uncharted. This Jedi Tajin seems like he's like a explorer.
I thought it was interesting. There's like you have the record for the Jedi who's seen the most planets, and I was like, is that something that the Jedi would track as far as like a record? Because it seems like a weird thing for the Jedi to
probably
do.
have to do paperwork when they come
He
back.
said you must have the record. You've been to so many planets, right?
I might be thinking of it differently, where it's like record and records, right? Like you have the record. Like I'm thinking of it more of like Guinness World Record, or you know, you got the record for the fastest. You know,
I think that's how he meant it.
it seems weird for Jedi to have like that as a thing, you know. But he also was a Padawan saying it, and maybe it's more of a, hey, that's not what matters, you know. That's not what we're looking for. We don't call them records.
It'd be people telling me
there are
like,
records of it, but it's not. We don't care that it's a record.
Sure. It's like someone coming to me and it's like, man, like seeing my Star Wars collection, like you must have like the record biggest collection, and I'd be like, no. But
there's literally a guy
what
with
they're
a ranch.
saying is that you do this a lot, but there's literally Rancho Obi-Wan that has the Guinness World Record of the largest collection.
Maybe, yeah.
And he just makes money by just
having
people look at it.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the way I took it. He also had that kind of like a sarcastic, like, I'm so glad that you're my master. You know, you get to go out and see all these things. He's like, thank you. I was kidding.
That's sarcasm.
Oh,
What was the line he had?
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah. What was the line he had on the planet? There was something he said.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm so happy. You know,
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but
I'm so lucky to have a master who's so wise, or something like
there was
that.
something like that. Oh, you're so wise. Like, yeah.
I liked it because you give that to like a snarkier, more annoying voice, and I'm gonna be like, this fucking kid, you know. But the way he's doing it is like he's snarky, but he's respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I really liked.
Yeah.
He's teasing him a little bit.
So I feel like when you have something like this, I mean, how long was this?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. You got 15 minutes to get a character across. You tend not to go subtle. I feel like these guys were subtle in terms of their
I thought it worked.
character,
Sure.
and it really worked.
I thought it was good for him.
I think it was like the first 15 minutes of episode 1.
Yeah, when they're on the
It's like a little bit snarky Obi-Wan. It's like, you were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short.
Qui-Gon. It's like you're fucking 28 and you're still a Padawan.
Just leave me, you man-child.
Now, was he 28 there?
Yeah, he was old.
Damn, man.
He's asked to be.
I mean, I didn't picture him being that old, though, you know, but...
I mean, he's a Padawan all the way up. Like, Qui-Gon says, like, he's ready for the trials. He's headstrong and still has much to learn of the living force, but he's capable. And they just... they didn't really have much of a need to do it. But then, like, Qui-Gon dies, and he immediately becomes a Jedi Master, pretty much. I mean, he's still a knight, but he gets knighted and then gets a Padawan learner immediately, and that doesn't happen often.
No, yeah. And then he made it to the council really quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, real quick. And made it to Master to
Within
be...
13 years of then, he's in the council.
Which is crazy, like how quickly that happened.
Sure.
Well, he's also the first person to ever kill a Sith Lord. You know, first Jedi, and the Jedi elect. Well, yeah, but the Jedi elect
Defeat.
Other Jedi to the council, so he might have just been a popular Jedi too. Because
yeah,
maybe.
Sure.
And like Yaddle disappeared, so they had a seat open.
it's true. I liked the ships too. The Sith ship, or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Really cool design, never seen before. The ship that they're on is kind of like, it feels like someone had like 4 or 5 different Star Wars model kits and made something new.
Yeah.
Whereas the Sith ship
Looked unique.
Just
Very sleek.
Very sleek.
The cockpit felt familiar, yet looked a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt the same thing. Cause I'm like, oh, that up there reminds me of like where what L3 is, like up here in the top left area of the Falcon, you know. And this area over here reminds me of the Ghost. And,
Sure.
But yeah, I get you. There actually was a spot too where I was kind of confused, and I was wondering how, like when they set it up, because it was like lights on like 2 little like, I don't know, 8x2 groupings, and it literally looked like a 3 and a 9 and a 5. And I was like, I wonder if those are supposed to be numbers like that, or if it's just like, put some lights on there, and they just put them in there, and they happen to look like numbers.
Yeah.
It was just kind of weird, but...
Does Arabesh use numbers? I know they don't use letters, but I think it might use numbers. Like English numbers. So it might not be too bad. I don't know.
I think when we've seen, like, the records, like, on the computers and stuff, at least through, like, Clone Wars and maybe through, like, Episode 2, whenever, like, lost a planet he has. Like, back when Obi-Wan's, like, investigating and looking for stuff, I think we've seen numbers.
There's definitely been numbers on the... Luke, why did you turn off your targeting computer? There was, like, numbers counting down there.
That's true.
So, I think there's numbers.
Yeah, I think they do use numbers, so...
Arabic numbers.
This is not a good source, but you can buy an Arabesh keyboard, and it has numbers, but the letters are all in Arabesh.
I should do that.
That's pretty cool.
So you can learn.
Yeah.
Because you can type normally and type whatever you want, but you can actually look down and it's like, oh, that's the kind of character that it looks like.
Yeah, and like on my phone, like it's in a keyboard. I know where they are from doing keyboarding stuff.
Sure.
So like, that might be interesting.
Yeah, I'm on an Arabesh translation thing that's put 1, 2, 3, 4. It has its own font.
Yeah,
but it's still
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I had fun with it. I liked it.
Yeah.
You know, having this is the second of the Trigger ones, and
felt a lot more grounded.
A lot of it I really liked. Yeah,
it was a lot more time on the ground.
I think that might have been some of it too. Like this one felt like a Star Wars story, whether it was canon or not. You know, whereas the other one just felt like I feel like this is something else, and you're just kind of slapping some Star Wars to make it.
If you get to do two, that's what I would do. I would make one that's grounded, and I would make the other one as outlandish as possible. Yeah.
Well, that's what they did.
That's exactly what they did,
You know, I keep going through these being like, okay, I'd like a figure of that. Or I'd like a figure of that one, a figure of that one. Like, even
is that what you're doing?
I am doing it. This one, they seem like more like true to form and natural Star Wars. Like, Ronin from the first one is going to be a different figure than these two Jedi because they just seem like, Jedi mold.
They're very traditional.
Regular hat.
You might get these ones.
Well, yeah, I'd probably get them all, but this one I'm like, I want that ship.
Yeah. That needs to be a Hasbro.
Yeah, I want that.
I wonder if the wings open or anything.
It looks like they fold down.
Yeah.
Like it looks like an old Corsair.
It looks like a shuttle.
P-41 or something like that.
But like, do they fold down to like here? Do they go way down to here? It looks
they
like you would think that they
go
down to here.
Like an arc.
Like it looks really interesting.
Actually, it almost looks like they might slide down instead of fold.
Well,
you would want your guns to be as close to the center, I would say.
Shows a closer shot. It looks like this folds back or slides back.
We'll never know. But it's a cool ship. I really like it.
It's pretty cool.
Maybe one day they'll use that design and something like canon.
It could be.
Maybe. Yeah. That would be really cool.
Like all these are legends, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're not real, but there may be a hint of truth in them. And maybe it's that shit.
It reminds me of like an Inquisitor's helmet too.
I'm always convinced that whoever was designing the LAAT gunship, the Republic gunship, just was seeing like one of those clips you can put on paper. You fold it this way and you put it down. It looks exactly like one. Like you got one right there.
Oh
yeah.
I've always been convinced. Like someone's like, "What the fuck should I make it?" So maybe
kind of like that, right? Like you put the wings out a bit.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Right. You got it right there.
I've definitely done that.
A perimeter create. Right? That's what he says.
You got a new figure.
That is what he says.
Now you hit the button.
Guys, thank you very much for watching this episode of Star Wars Visions with us. There are only a few left, so make sure you come back next week for the next one. But you can also go to patreon.com/blindwave, where you can see the rest of our reactions to Visions right this second.
Put this with your collection, Eric. There you go. That'd be worth some money one day.